Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So glad you're here. If you are new, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're old, hey y'all. I was planning to do the 10-year challenge book tag today, but that is going to take a little bit more research than I have time for today. So instead, I am going to do the low key Eff 2020 tag. So this tag was first done by Happy for Now. She came up with these questions as a way to just kind of like think about and cope with the fact that 2020 has been a monster of a year. So I'm going to answer these tag questions, or try and answer the tag questions, while I apply a baking soda paste to my new teapot. I found this in the matching creamer and sugar bowl on a Facebook marketplace, and it was pretty inexpensive. It wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but I really like the pattern and stuff on it, and because it was pretty cheap, I figured I would just get it and see what I think of it. It's kind of heavy, and it has some stuff on the bottom, and if I can figure out what that is, I will just, like scroll it across the screen rather than trying to show it to you, because it's pretty dark in there, under there where it's kind of tarnished and stuff. I'm actually not sure if it's supposed to be a high silver or if it's supposed to be more of a patina silver, but I'm going to clean it up and see what I can do with it with the baking soda. So I'm not going to buy any expensive polish or anything, because I really actually kind of like the dark. So I wanted to get a silver teapot because all of the teapots that I have are either ceramic or china. And really, I didn't want another teapot. I wanted a creamer and a sugar thing. So the teapot was a bonus. You will undoubtedly see me buy at least one more sugar and creamer pot, because I really want one that has the sugar bowl that has the little top on it, so I can actually use it for sugar cubes. And then I gotta buy sugar cubes for no reason at all, y'all, except that I want it. So I'm gonna answer the tag while I'm doing that. And then also to point out that I'm wearing another one of my hats from my friend Stephanie. She's got a Facebook page where she sells things that she makes. So I'm calling this one Pink Calico. I love the little thing on the back. And the shirt, you can see it, dating and exploring and networking and learning all the things, is a sweatshirt from a local business called the Rochester Brainery. So the Rochester Brainery is basically like a local space that does classes and stuff, mostly for adults, but like crafting classes and art classes. They did an Enneagram class. They do things like making pierogies and doing macrame, and they do all kinds of different things like that. Watercolors, calligraphy, sticker making. And then when they're not doing classes, people can rent the space to do parties or wedding showers or things like that. And it's super cool and an awesome space. And I've been there for a couple of different educational things that they've done. So I did take an Enneagram class there. I did an adult pumpkin carving class there, which came with dinner across the street at an awesome restaurant called Lento that was a pumpkin themed dinner. And then I also did at least one other thing. They also have like taking care of your plants, and I did a business thing there that was about social media. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, one of the reasons why I'm bringing that up is because it is gift giving season, and just to encourage everyone to explore their local area for things that they can offer for your local businesses, which are probably not doing as well as they have in the past because of the coronavirus and our global pandemic. But also giving experiences can be a great gift rather than giving something that people might only use for a little bit of time. Giving them a memory or giving them a skill can be a great gift. So just a plug to shop local, shop small, and support your local business owners. Okay, so now that I've done my spiel, I'm going to pour myself some tea, and then we're going to get into the tag. The tea I've got going today is an Earl Grey cream from the English Tea Shop. Not too bad. But the cream teas aren't my favorite in general. The first question is, share some good stuff that has happened in 2020 and some bad stuff if you want. So I would say that in general, I've been pretty fortunate in 2020 because being an essential worker means that I didn't lose my job almost automatically like so many people did when the coronavirus shut down so many different businesses. So I'm fortunate in that. I work in healthcare, so I think some of the bad stuff about that is having to go really rapidly from doing a lot of things in person with people as a psychologist. Doing therapy with people in person, it really felt very different and very hard to go to telehealth so fast, but we did it, especially with kids, but we did it, and I actually really like it. One of the other good things about it is that it's really opened up access for people who weren't able to consistently attend their appointments. So I work in a doctor's office where the patients that we work with are really high needs groups. So they've really been impacted a lot by the coronavirus. And sometimes leaving work or, finding a time to be able to come to your counseling or consultation appointment is really hard. So being able to do it online has really been great. And the insurance companies have gotten on board with paying for telehealth, which was something they weren't really driving on before all of this happened. So there are also lots of meetings and stuff that I'd always wanted to be able to attend that I wasn't able to, that are now, things that it's like, oh, this can't be remote or this can't be online. And then suddenly when we can't be together in person, we have all of these other options. So that's been really great for me. But also recognizing that it's not great for everyone, especially for kids who have learning differences or parents of kids who have learning differences and are really finding it hard to figure out how to do remote learning with those kids. I'm actually kind of making a mess here on my floor, but I did put newspaper down because I'm really smart. Let's see what the next question is. What book did you love at the beginning of the year? So I had to look back on my Goodreads, which is actually why I keep a Goodreads, because my memory isn't such that I would remember everything that I've read in a year. The books that I loved at the beginning of the year, my very first book of 2020 was The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah. I don't remember Sarah's last name, but Sarah is a trans woman who, as a profession, has started a business where she and her team clean up following trauma. So like an explosion, or people who have OCD and are hoarders, or people who were killed in their homes. So a lot of people don't think about the fact that once the police leave the scene of the crime, they often, and even if the coroner or whoever takes the body, the families are often left with whatever is left in the house. So think about, or don't think about, how some people pass away, not always leaving the best situation there. So Sarah Krasnstein, Trauma Cleaner is her memoir. Actually, I don't think she wrote it. Oh, I'd have to go back and look. I don't think she's writing it. I think it is a story, nonfiction, about a woman who is a trauma cleaner, and Sarah's just the author. I think that's right. I don't think it's a memoir. I don't think that the woman cleaning is actually the woman who wrote it. I'm not sure I'm doing this right. I'm just smearing it on there and then scrubbing it a little bit with this toothbrush. But there were also some other books that I really liked at the beginning of the year. One was Governess Game by Tessa Dare. So that's a romance, a romantic comedy. So I love a good romantic comedy. And in that book, a woman who is down and out starts to be a governess for a young man who is like, I don't know, a duke or something. And she goes there because she's actually a clock mender, somebody who fixes clocks, clock fixer. So she goes there and she ends up agreeing to be the governess for his nieces, 2 nieces. And of course, she loves the kids and they love her. And then he's sort of a rake, or so she thinks. And she's sort of an uptight bitch, or so he thinks. And then kissy faces happen, and it's Tessa Dare, and it's great, and it's beautiful, and I loved it. So that was a great book that I also enjoyed this year towards the beginning. I think maybe in April or something. And then the third one this year that I really loved was The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang, I think. And that, again, kissy face book, happily ever after. So fun, so good. It's about a woman on the autism spectrum who wants to learn how to be in a romantic relationship. And of course, she finds a wonderful male escort who has a heart of gold and wants to protect her from all the other terrible male escorts out there. And so he agrees, against his better judgment, to become her fake boyfriend, or to teach her how to have a boyfriend over the course of, some short period of time. And obviously, kissy faces happen, and she develops, a hope to be with him instead. And he doesn't really get that she's on the autism spectrum for a while, but she is. And so is the author. So that's one of the reasons why I really liked it. It really reads a little bit, not necessarily biographical. Like, I don't know that Helen Hoang went to an escort or anything to find her husband, but maybe she did, and I wouldn't judge him or her for that, but I don't think so. But I really love that and would recommend that book, and do recommend that book all the time. All right, I have no idea if this is working. I don't know if I'm supposed to put stuff on the inside. Like, do people polish the inside of silverware? I guess they do. All right, I'm gonna do that. See what our next question is. Book you were looking forward to that turned out to be a disappointment. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, I think. I was really excited about that book, probably too excited. Excited for what? I don't even know. But then it was kind of lame. There were some parts of it that I really liked, and in between those parts was a lot of not good. So that was disappointing. What's a book that surprised you this year? Sex Lives of Siamese Twins was surprisingly good. Really gritty, really terrible, horrible trigger warnings for that book. It's Irvine Welsh. Don't read it if you don't have the capacity for that. But I really enjoyed that book, as ridiculous and horrible as it was. I was also surprised by how much I enjoyed The Haunting of Tramcar 015. And I think in general, so one of the other questions, the next question, oh no, it's not, never mind. So I think I've read a little bit more sci-fi that I've really enjoyed this year than in previous years. And then I read Patrick Ness's The Knife of Letting Go just last week or the week before. And I really enjoyed that book, and will be continuing on with the trilogy ASAP. I already checked out the second book from the library. A book you like that no one else does, or that no one really talks about that much. So this one's hard because I'm not sure what other people talk about a lot, but I'm thinking of the Brooklyn Bruja series by Zoraida Cordova. I'm not sure if that's how she says her first name, but I really liked that. I read the first one, Labyrinth Lost, I think was the name of it, and I'm looking forward to the rest of it, which I haven't finished reading yet, but I think maybe it got a little bit of buzz maybe last year when it came out, or 2 years ago, but compared to like some of the other books that I've gotten a lot of buzz around them that are kind of in the same genre. It didn't get the credit that it really deserved, I think. So basically, I've decided to just kind of keep putting stuff on this thing and scrubbing it a little bit until I'm done with the questions. So I'm just going to keep doing that. So the next two questions are a pass for me because I don't really know. One of them is, what do you really want to happen? Or what's a book you really want to come out in 2020? I have no idea. And it's also the second week of December. So I don't know if more books are coming out this week or this month or not. But I don't know if they are. And then the next one is, what's a book you were looking forward to that got pushed to 2021? And I don't keep track of book release dates. So I have the foggiest idea what got pushed back and what didn't get pushed back. So I'm terrible about those kinds of questions because I don't keep track of those kinds of things. Not like I'm too cool for school or anything. I just don't have the time or the, what people would call the bandwidth, which is the kind of the buzzword for, I ain't got time for that right now. And then the last question is, what's a book that you will think of when you think of 2020? And I think the book I'll think of for this year is probably Legendborn. I think part of that is because there were so many months that I really wanted to read it, and then I bought it, and then I waited, and then I really loved the book. So I think Legendborn will definitely be one of my sort of fond memories 2020. And then the other one is probably The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue for the same reason, except I haven't read it yet. So it's still on my list of books to read. So it'll be probably one of my great disappointments of 2020, next year when it's like, which book did you really want to read in 2020 and you didn't get to? The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue will definitely be one of those books. Okay, I'm going to go rinse this off and then maybe I'll show you what it looks like after the first rinse and then decide if I'm going to scrub it one more time. Okay, I know you didn't really see too much of it, so it looks a little bit clear, especially on this side, but it's still pretty dark. So I'm going to do it one more time, but you don't have to watch me do that. So that was the end of the question. So that was the low key Eff 2020 tag. So thanks for hanging out. And if you've got tips for cleaning silver or polishing silver or figuring out if it's supposed to be silver, let me know in the comments below. And I will see you on the next one.